Pokemon Sun and Moon did so many new things for the series, but you know me, I'm always looking forward to seeing the new Pokemon each gen brings, the stuff that truly cements itself. And Alola introduced slightly more than the last one. Though despite the small roster, a lot of Pokemon caught my eye this time around, and it was hard to keep this to just 10 entries. Many of them were given so much thought into not only their overall design, but their general backstories as well, and it only helped make the Alola group even more likable. The one and only rule I have for this list is that there are no Alolan forms, just stuff that is 100% all new, but you probably knew that. So now, without further ado, I give you my top 10 favorite Generation 7 Pokemon. Enjoy, everybody! Bewear's a Pokemon that I didn't really like when it was first shown off, but after a while began to warm up to. I liked the design after seeing it up close, but it truly won me over as a cool Pokemon after reading its bio on the Sun and Moon website. You see, over time, Pokemon and humans have gotten so close that you sometimes forget how things used to be. Back in Gen 1, Pokemon were seen more as dangerous, mysterious creatures, and though people did make bonds with them, they still erred on the side of caution. They brought that back with Bewear, as it's a Pokemon that's not only avoided, but feared throughout Alola, and it's great to see that again. A bit ironic too, it's friendly looking and can be very affectionate, but you know that without effort it could kill you. I find creatures like those to be the scariest, and no better place is that shown than in the Sun and Moon anime. I was hoping a Pokemon that shows affection painfully would go to Team Rocket's own James, but it seems like the whole gang isn't spared of Bewear's love. And it's sweet to see how much it cares for them, but at the same time very scary seeing how far it'll go. Bewear really feels like a classic Pokemon through and through, a true pocket monster. I've never been all that big a fan of the Pika clones, and Tokido Maru was initially no exception. But I like to try new things, and Electric's one of my favorite types, so on a whim I decided to train one, and it's now my favorite of them all. It may not be too strong, but it's got the tools to be pretty annoying given the chance. It's got high attack and speed, access to Spark, and a signature move in Zing Zap. Those moves have a 30% chance of paralysis and flinching respectively, which can leave the foe in a para-flinch nightmare. Spiky Shield is good for scouting and chip damage, coupled with a rocky helmet and the ability Iron Barbs, once exclusive to the Ferrothorn line. And it can learn the recently buffed Fell Stinger, doing a bit more damage and raising attack by 3 stages if you score a KO, making that attack stat even stronger. Now I'll be honest, I don't get a lot of kills with it, and if my opponent has Earthquake, it's game over, but when things play out in my favor, they really play out. I think this is the Pika clone I've been longing for since Pikachu himself. A quirky surprise wrapped up in a cute little package. I gave mine the nickname Tokido. I was never one of those people who demanded there be a koala Pokemon. When you're an animal that isn't too smart and carries disgusting diseases, I just can't find you cute, I'm sorry. That said, I'm glad we got Kamala, and while I was a little disheartened it didn't evolve, I grew to like it for what it was. I wanted one for my team, but since it didn't evolve, I wasn't sure how useful it'd be. I figured it was a decent normal type banking on cuteness, but at first glance, you wouldn't think its base attack is higher than an Aggron's. It's not exactly a tank and it's none too fast, but if you get a hit in, it's gonna hurt, especially if it's a thrash attack. Hoo-wee! And thanks to its ability Comatose, it's immune to every major status condition, and no matter what ability swapping nonsense you try, Kamala will only ever have Comatose and no other Pokemon can. Now that is a signature ability. I named mine Coco, and like Tokido Maru, it was an unexpected powerhouse. And you know what? After some serious consideration, it is pretty cute, isn't it? Mimikyu has all the makings for a memorable monster. A laughably sad backstory and always having you guessing its real form like Cubone or Fortress, but in this case, maybe it's better we don't know. Some think it's cute, but I find it creepy, mainly because of its portrayal in the show. What was promoted as a lonely Pokemon wanting to make friends like Pikachu is a vengeful creature who wants to actively kill Pikachu because of how loved it is. It makes these choking noises, scares the crap out of Meowth on a regular basis, and Curiosity nearly killed him twice. They just had to pull a 180 and make this thing nightmarish, didn't they? Going back to the games though, Mimikyu is a great battler. Disguise is a get-out-of-jail-free card, giving you a free turn to do whatever you wish. It's only weak to 2 types, has pretty good stats, and learns a wide range of attacks. Mine's got Wood Hammer, and that throws a lot of people off, especially when holding a Gracium Z. My friend Yo Schiller can tell you that no Milotic is safe from that kind of power. I gave mine the nickname Mimi, and how appropriate that the one I caught on my journey has a lonely nature. There's always that one Pokemon that nobody sees coming when they're playing through a game for the first time. For Gen 7, that Pokemon for me was Goliath Pod. I didn't look at the Sun and Moon leaks beforehand, so when Guzma sent this thing out, I was completely taken aback. I wasn't even thinking of Wimpod during that initial battle, then after it sunk in, I thought, whoa, that's what Wimpod turns into? Needless to say, it's a great physical attacker, learning stuff like Swords Dance, Razor Shell, and right out of the box, First Impression. Strongest of all priority moves. 90 power coming from 125 attack, it hurts even on stuff that resists it, and works in tandem with Emergency Exit. When you call it back into battle, you can use it again right away, and if you took any stat drops earlier, those are gone now. I named mine Goso, and if there's something that needs a killing, I can count on him to leave a good first impression on the enemy. Come on, that joke writes itself. Toucan is one of the most unique early bird Pokemon, especially since I never thought twice about it coming from Pikipek. When mine evolved into Trumbeak, I thought I had its final evolution down. Oh, it's a woodpecker. I guess it'll evolve into a bigger woodpecker. So after seeing it turn into Toucan, well, I hadn't smiled so much seeing a Pokemon of mine evolve in ages, plus I love how it always looks upset about something. Adding to the uniqueness is its signature move Beak Blast, which basically says to a physical hitter, oh, you wanna get a hit in? Just you try it, see what happens. Shutting them down before striking back with a vengeance. I named mine Pike, and though he's a bit slow for my tastes, he still gets things done. Oh, and I've gotten myself a shiny one. Not through shiny hunting, mind you, the old-fashioned way. By complete surprise as a Trumbeak, and it looks as good as I hoped it would too. We finally have a true blue lemur Pokemon, and not the typical ring-tailed one you see everywhere. A rough, tough, black and white ruffed lemur called Passimian, and I pestered my brother for one since he had Sun. Orangaru's great and all, but I love fighting types, and lemurs are a concept ripe for the picking. And I never would have thought to combine one with a linebacker and make it 6 feet tall, but those designers just make odd combos work so well. I also like how it's all about teamwork with Passimian, and while I don't do double battles often, its receiver ability has amazing potential. I once got Magic Bounce from a Mega Absol. Never got to use it, but imagine the possibilities! Sadly, Receiver gives it no favors in singles, but it can hold its own well enough. Pull off a couple bulk ups and follow up with Earthquake or Close Combat, there isn't much that can handle that. And mine's got Iron Head for the occasional fairy. It's great at killing Mimikyu because no one sees it coming! I named mine Passim, and he's a true team player. Kinda hope that Ash gets one of these in the show sometime. I think it really suits him. Turtles are some of my favorite animals, coming in all shapes and sizes from all corners of the world. And I love seeing new turtle Pokemon, so you can guess that when they first showed off Turtonator, I knew I needed one. I love the Matamata species for being so odd looking, and giving it a fire dragon typing was pretty great too. One of only 3 Pokemon with that combo, and the only one that isn't legendary or Omega. The typing works wonders both ways, giving it stab that's nearly unresisted and making it not weak to water, ice, or fairy. The more physical rock and ground types have a slightly harder time taking it out due to its massive defense, the highest of all dragon Pokemon, and shell armor's a big plus too. Turtonator can also dish out damage as well as it takes it. Its shell trap attack is like having the best parts of counter and focus punch in one move, all for the asking price of a physical hit. And if you can pull off a shell smash with this thing, it can make you nigh unstoppable. I named my Turtonator Bakum, and it's always fun seeing what'll happen when it's out on the field. Plus, dude, it just looks so cool. I've always been drawn to the Clydesdale breed when it came to horses, and it's great to see it represented in the form of Mudsdale. I recall seeing the trailer that first revealed it and just going, wow! I love the dreadlocks around its mane that go into the tail, the hooves, and just how collected it looks. And true to form, he is a big fella, being the definition of bulk. Great defenses on its own, and with iron defense and stamina, it has no trouble being a physical wall. Having counters good too, because you're guaranteed to do some damage with such defense, but Mudsdale's even better at attacking. My main choice of a stab attack was high horsepower. Even though Earthquake is better, I just think it's a cooler fit for a horse, don't you? And since Mudsdale's one of a few Pokemon to weigh in at over a ton, heavy slams are second to none. I named mine Brayhay, and he's a dependable beast he is. Such a cool Pokemon! The toughest decision of any Pokemon journey is choosing just who to start it with, for the most part. I thought all the Alola starters looked good and had a sense of adorableness, but from day one I knew Poplio was the one for me. The story of this little guy is like Oshawott all over again. I have no idea why everyone was so up in arms about it, like it was a blemish on the face of the franchise or something. Seriously, what is the matter with you people? And what a surprise, everyone changed their minds when they saw Primarina. I love this thing through all its phases, but yeah, I couldn't have imagined a better final evolution. It's got a wonderful color scheme and its hair flows like water. This thing is just beautiful. It also has the best special stats of all starter Pokemon, with its typing taking full advantage of such a perfect pairing. Sparkling Aria, Moonblast, and its showstopper of a Z move, Oceanic Operetta, are just the basics of what it can do. Mine was named Poppy, and he was the backbone of my team from start to finish. He still does great in online battles, and he's not even EV trained, he's that good. Before Gen 6, I always went with the grass starters, but after using Greninja and now Primarina, I might just have a new favorite on my hands. Thanks for watching, everybody. I really hope you enjoyed what you saw. If you did, feel free to give this video a like, share with a friend, subscribe, check out all my social media pages, you know, all that good stuff. And feel free to check out the videos on screen. I'm still using the old format because I personally like seeing moving images better than a static card. And I need to talk for more than 20 seconds to get everything I want to say said. I'll also have the links to the videos in the description. So with all that said, I'll see you guys next time for another installment in this month of Pokemon. Catch you later!